So a lot is like the unknown. I came into this brand new. This was the first business that I'd actually started myself, and I help my husband with his businesses, but it's totally different when it's your baby. And that's how I feel. I feel like it's my baby. And honestly, I didn't even know when I came into this, I had no idea the amount of work that it would require, but I have quickly learned along the way.
Yeah.
And it's something that I just have to make time for. You get a lot less sleep, you have a lot less free time, but if you want something bad enough, then you sacrifice and make it happen.
This is Entrepreneurs the Playbook, where I give you access each week to the world's greatest athletes and executives about their personal and professional playbook and what has made them champions on and off the field. This is the Playbook.
This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs the Playbook, and I'm so excited. I have Ashey Peterson.
Hi.
And has an incredible new product. I love women entrepreneurs because they're so much smarter than men entrepreneurs.
Thank you. I agree. No.
My wife does too. Elizabella, though.
Elizabella Cosmetics.
Elizabella Cosmetics is a full line of lip products.
Yes.
And in fact, on Valentine's Day, you're going to be releasing, I call it the multi-purpose, like a multi-purpose back like your husband.
Exactly.
A multi-purpose. Tell me about what that product is and how you came up with it.
So I'll be releasing a product called Diamond Dust. I'm so excited about it. It's, first of all, so shiny and so blingy. And I think like most women, I love all things blingy and shiny. So it's a liquid lipstick, and the pigment is just insane. It's amazing. But not only do you have the liquid lipstick aspect in it, you can also use it as a highlighter, eyeshadow, you can put it on cheeks, collarbones, all of that. And it's so gorgeous. So we're coming out with 3 new colors in that. On the 14th of February, you have Razzle Dazzle, Pizzazz, and Paparazzi.
Nice.
So yes, all blingy. So there's like a gold tone, a champagne-ish silver tone, and then a hot pink. So very fun for spring.
Well, I will boost your economy. I have 3 teenage daughters and a wife.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just my household alone will boost
Send
the
them
sales.
my way.
You got it. Now, as you know, and most people know, being an entrepreneur is not easy.
It's not.
And to be a mom
I know.
and an entrepreneur is even harder.
It is.
And then to have a husband who is traveling and is also, not only a professional athlete, but an entrepreneur. I'm sitting here in my head going, I'm an entrepreneur. And I have several things going on, but how do you do it?
The grace of God. I haven't quite figured it all out yet. I'm kind of learning as I go because I took a few years off when I had my first child, and I was a stay-at-home mom for some years. I had worked in the beauty industry prior to that because I modeled for several years in Los Angeles. And so I've always loved the beauty industry, always been interested in that industry, and always have known that I wanted to work in that industry. So I took a few years off, and my youngest son is now 3 years old. So when he was about 1.5, I decided, okay, I'm ready to get back into the workforce, but trying to figure out where exactly I fit, was a task. So I had always had a dream of starting a cosmetics company, but it was one of those things that you feel like, man, I can't do this. This is
Right.
impossible,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, And so, but I was talking to a friend about it one day, and she was like, you know what, Ashey, you can do this. Why don't you just do it? And it's like something clicked in me that day, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And that day I just started doing it, and I set my mind to it and decided I was gonna do it, and I just kept going. And it is, I'm not gonna lie, it's very difficult, especially my kids are 3, 7, and 10, and I have all boys.
Oh, wow.
So it's, sports all the time, just so much going on. But I find that when you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. You figure it out.
Yeah, and coming from the background you did as a model, most people don't know it's not as glamorous and easy.
It's not.
It's really, and it takes great persistence. You get rejected a ton.
You get rejected more than you
A
don't.
lot of hours.
Long hours.
Yeah, and it's a very difficult, trying job. What do you think is the most difficult part of being an entrepreneur? With all those things going on, what's the most challenging thing that scares you the most?
So a lot is like the unknown. I came into this brand new. This was the first business that I'd actually started myself, and I help my husband with his businesses, but it's totally different when it's your baby. And that's how I feel. I feel like it's my baby. And Honestly, I didn't even know when I came into this, I had no idea the amount of work that it would require, but I have quickly learned along the way.
Yeah.
And it's something that I just have to make time for. You get a lot less sleep, you know, you have a lot less free time, but if you want something bad enough, then you sacrifice and make it happen.
You know, most first-time entrepreneurs fail. And I always say it's not really failure, it's the miracle lessons that you learn. And about 80% of second-time entrepreneurs make it. You've been able to watch your husband build his different businesses. Are you using any other mentorship to help you?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, absolutely. My mom actually is a project manager. She's worked in corporate my whole life. So she is actually probably like one of the smartest women that I know. So she helps me project manage my company,
That's
which is
awesome.
amazing. And I pay her in hugs and kisses, which is even better. And
That's the best employee.
I know.
I wish
She
mine
is-
would do that, but I think there'd be some legality problems.
I know. She's just helped me immensely,
Yeah.
immensely. And then I also have a really strong mentor. Her name is Pageant Fariabo. And she has been, you know, in entrepreneurship, owned businesses, and sits on boards, and just her wisdom and knowledge has just, I just sit and soak it up. Everything she has to tell me, I soak it in like a sponge. So I got really lucky, and I actually have amazing women around me that know so much, and they're just so ready and willing to share.
That's interesting. Do you see a difference? I'm blessed to have 3 daughters. I have a little boy, but both about 50-50 men and women employees. And you know, I try not to distinguish. I believe everyone should have equal opportunities, but I don't think everyone's equal in the sense that I truly think that women have certain abilities that I don't see in most of the guys that work for me. Do you find, especially in the cosmetic industry, that, you know, which is predominantly women, that, you know, there is a more wise type of business? Like, I just find that there's this wisdom to the business, and just the fact that you can work with your mom.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I can't
And
imagine.
she has just taught me so much. And not only her, but everyone actually that I work with are all women, you know?
Yeah.
So my IT people, my brand manager, just a group of really strong, intelligent, powerful women. And together, it's this force that has just pushed me along even more quickly than I could have ever imagined. And almost to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, hold on, it's happening really fast.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I said I wanted this to happen, and here you go, you get what you asked for. So I have like taken a crash course in business over the past few months, but it's been just amazing, and the ride and just everything I've learned. I feel like I've learned more in business in the past few months than I had in the past 3 years, you know?
I had the same experience with a mentor of mine. I used to tell him, feels like I get an MBA every day with you. Like the amount of knowledge that some people have. Well, you have 3 little boys. I have 3 girls. I would
Very
love for you to
different.
mentor my daughters. Like, you're so, the humility though, that is involved with, number 1, working with all women, but 2, working with your mom, because we all have a sense of, whether you know, father or mom, we have a sense of, you know, making them proud. There's a lot of ego issues involved, and that in a business situation we've compressed those emotions, and it gets really stressful. How does working with your mom when real stressful times come, how does that work out?
You know, it's so funny because my mom and I are just alike too. So we do kind of butt heads a little bit sometimes, but what I know is like, what you don't know, you need someone that does know. And I know enough to know that. And I know that the things that I don't know, she knows. So I just shut my mouth and listen. You know, I feel like that people, if you can't listen and learn, then you're gonna take a lot of hard lessons in life. And I learned that early on. So if someone has advice or knowledge that they wanna give me, whether it's my mom or a stranger, I'm gonna listen. And I know that she knows what she's talking about, so, you know, I go along with it, and I appreciate it because she gets paid a lot for what she does, so I appreciate her even taking the time to help me in this, you know, because even though she's my mother, she doesn't have to,
Right,
you
and a
know?
lot of parents don't do that. What's the one question, you know, I do a lot of business coaching myself, I know your industry fairly well. what's the one question that you have about your future, about the business that I could help you with?
One of my biggest things would be scaling. That's, I feel, is going to be my next really big hurdle to jump, because things are happening a little more quickly than I anticipated. So just keeping up with the demand. Just this week at Super Bowl, I had a pop-up all week in the shops of Buckhead, but then I had another opportunity for another pop-up, but was unable to do it because I just didn't have the staff, and I just didn't have everything necessary. And getting to a point where I have everything that I need without overextending my resources, that is my biggest question.
Well, the smartest thing that you're doing is not overextending, because people don't realize sometimes your greatest successes create the biggest failures when you're not ready to scale. So one of the things that I've learned is you break it down into 3 stages. One is in what I call the investment phase. So if you shift your perspective and say your business right now is in the investment phase, everything, all those resources, employees, products, financing, it's all an investment. And what I do is I look at it and say, how long will it take till I break even?
Okay.
And I keep on adding in, even my employees. And once I get to break even, the next is the execution phase. So now I can scale when I get things where it's like, okay, I can run this at break even. Now I can scale to an execution where it's like, how do I get to 3 times earning on every penny, whatever employees, hard costs, overhead, whatever it is. And then after you can get to 3 times, and these are numbers by me, you can pick whatever you want. How long does that take? The last phase is the equity phase. And that's when your company itself, regardless of the income that it's generating, has tremendous value. So even Amazon, for example, Jeff Bezos, one of the things I thought he did extraordinarily well was he did a ton of debt financing because he was scaling and needed to scale so fast with the assurity that whenever he needed all the world because he knew his business model worked. And so they never made money, and yet they were losing money every year and borrowing money every year. But once he shut off that and scaled to where he's at, it's just the richest
Cash cow.
Yeah. And so that kind of crawl before you walk, before you run. If you kind of start identifying the people that work for you, because not everyone's going to work for hugs and kisses.
I know. Oh, I know that. I learned that quickly too.
Start looking at the math of that so that you can scale that business. Beyond that now, you're going to probably extend out your product line as well. What do you see for your future in products?
So I really want to concentrate on what I call the accessories for makeup. So I feel like after you have your foundation and your blush and all that, your lipstick is your ultimate accessory, first of all. So the most important, because even if you don't have anything else on, if you have lipstick on, you can pretty much be good to go. So outside of the lips, highlighters, bronzers, mascaras, those type of things that are I call extra add-ons, the cherry on top. That's what I really want to concentrate on for now.
And not attaching yourself to an outcome, is there a point where you can see yourself retiring, selling, or is there an ultimate goal in mind?
The ultimate goal is to be a Kylie Jenner. Yes, Pat McGrath, those type of women I really look up to, and that is my ultimate goal. I think that we can make it happen with Elizabella. I
do too. I think one other piece of advice I would give you, knowing who you are with your modeling background, your obvious beauty, and intelligence, though, I mean, you articulate things so well, is I would put as much time branding yourself. Which is actually, it's so funny you say that, because I've always been kind of more behind the scenes than my husband. Even though I modeled, I'm I'm what I like to call an outgoing introvert. So I can turn it on. You look at my shoes when I talk to you instead of your own? I can definitely turn it on, but I'm very quiet in a big group. I'm very observant, and I take everything in. And so my brand manager was like, Ashley, I really need you to get yourself out there, because I never really did interviews or anything like that. So that has actually been something that I've really been working on as well, putting myself out there more and branding myself as Ashley Peterson, because prior to this, I was totally okay just, being in the background, wife, mom, and doing what I needed to do, Yeah, and the Kardashians, the Jenners, they were kind of the first to just brand themselves with no product.
Exactly.
Right, and in fact, I don't sell anything. And Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know if you know, he's the ultimate branded entrepreneur. You can check him out. But I consulted for a sports agency because I used to run a notable sports agency, and I figured out I'm probably the oldest guy on Instagram. But Gary, encouraged me to build my own brand, and it's been extraordinary. Like, I have companies that come to me. I've even, you're not going to believe this, but I was actually a L'Oreal model.
Really?
Yeah, see, you look so surprised. That's what I can manifest.
I totally
camouflage,
see it.
Camouflage. They use me for their camouflage hair product, the gray away stuff.
Funny.
So I always tell my wife, I go, you just married the magic man. I can manifest anything. Who would have ever thought this would be a model?
I know.
For you, last question. If you could manifest or attract anything in your life, what would it be?
Oh, man. Peace. First of all, I think peace is the most important thing,
World peace or inner peace?
Inner peace. Inner peace. Like, no matter how much money you have, if you don't have that, it doesn't matter. So peace, just having my family be healthy and happy. And it's not really about money. It's about prosperity, and then having that peace to where you can actually give that to people and spread that around,
See, you're built to be branded. You could be president. I'd vote right now.
Thank
That'd
you.
be amazing.
Ashley Peterson for president. No.
I'll be her manager. That'd be great. One more thing, too. Looking at your relationship with Adrian. Adrian's going to stop playing sometime soon. Now you're going to have a whole different dynamic in your relationship. You have a lot more experience on the entrepreneurial side. How does he take your mentorship? I'm sure he asks you for advice.
He does. And he actually listens really well. We discuss everything. We just kind of talk things through, and we bounce ideas off of each other. He's actually very creative as well. So I'll ask him like, hey, what do you think about this? And we engage really well with each other, and build off of each other, because there are a lot of things that he knows that I don't know, because he's been doing this for a little bit longer. And there are a lot of things that I know that he doesn't know, because I go to those different mentors and I glean from them, and then I bring that back to him. So it works really well. We actually work really well together.
Yeah, I believe it. After meeting both of you and getting to know both of you, I know you don't want this, but I think you guys could have a whole mess more kids. You're all persistent, beautiful, hardworking, and most importantly, you're both so kind.
Thank you.
And anything I can do to help you, please let me know. You're the ultimate entrepreneur. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Oh, this is awesome. Ashey Peterson with Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.
Thank you.